Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of the program, Pod Up Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We got JC and then we'll have Franz Beard from Gator Bait Media giving us a breakdown of what's going on with Gator sports. Billy Napier and Todd Golden both had speaking engagement last night in the Touchdown Terrace. I think that was with one of the Fighting Gator Touchdown clubs or one of those people. I'm not sure. Gator softball to 2 o'clock today against Virginia Tech. If you missed it last night, Arkansas beat Texas. I believe Oklahoma State won their first game. I missed that one. Baseball gets just destroyed against the Aggies. And I watched some of Tennessee. You know, there are experts out there, folks, that say Tennessee is the best assembled college baseball team of all time. And I ain't going to argue with them. I've never seen a team like them. So we got hockey going on, got NBA playoffs, a lot of stuff happening right now. Let's go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Hey, man. Glad to have you back. Tennessee, you just mentioned Tennessee. What I think is so amazing is how quickly Tony Vitello has assembled that roster. It was only a year and a half, 2 years ago where you never even paid attention to that team. Last year they made the College World Series, and like you said, right now it's hard to compare them to anybody because of how good they are. So you're right. I mean, I think Tennessee, obviously they'll be the national top seed, I would guess, and it looks pretty good for them to get back to the College World Series, knowing that they're going to play every game they have in Knoxville up until if they make the College World Series. So I'm with you. I think Tennessee's unbelievable. And I just can't believe how quickly he's gotten that roster to where it is this good when it was just 2 years ago, or not even, that they were an afterthought. They were an afterthought, QB. And then last year they make the College World Series and they shocked everybody. And now this year there's no surprises. They're just that good.
Yeah, their lineup, I tell you, I watched it. It's just, and the amount of home runs they've hit, it's just, it really is amazing what they've done up in Knoxville. And I don't know how many years he's been there.
I want to say just 3. I mean, I don't.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's been that many.
And I don't know if some of the bigger schools, I mean, should say Tennessee's a big school, but I'm sure some schools will be calling. So we shall see. Softball, as I said, kicks off today. I really like the way the Gators are playing. They were close to hosting a super regional. Kentucky almost upset Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has a stud in the circle, but Florida has found a little bit of offense. Yeah. And if you watch postseason softball, you could throw out what happened in the regular season, because postseason softball, it's all about not making that one mistake, because every game is going to be close for the most part because of pitching. So if Florida can somehow limit Virginia Tech offensively with Hightower in the circle today, they can get after this pitcher, because with Skylar Wallace and Falvey, the speed they have in front of Hannah Adams and Charlotte Eccles, I think they can manufacture 1 or 2 runs that could be the difference today.
Yeah, I think it's important to try to see if they can get that first game. It's best 2 out of 3. I think there's just as good a chance for them to advance as just about any other team, because Kentucky almost took these girls out up in Blacksburg. But to me, QB, and I think to most people behind the scenes, it's Oklahoma's to lose. Though, Oklahoma offensively is just not. They're like Tennessee, right? I mean, you just don't. They're not. There's nobody to compare them to. So they would have to go into a colossal slump at the absolute worst time, in my mind, not to be the overwhelming favorite to win the tournament. But speaking about Florida, since we're centered around the Gators, if you can get that first game up in Blacksburg, I think it takes a lot of pressure off. And who knows, they can pull it off. I think, though, that the 8 teams or the 7 teams that joined Oklahoma in the College World Series, though, they'll all be playing for second. That's just the way I see it. Now, Oklahoma State did surprise Oklahoma during the season and beat Oklahoma. But that
so
was
did
just,
Texas. Texas beat them once.
Yeah, that was just one game, though. And I guess, really, that's what we're talking about. It only takes one game, right? But if you're going to tell me right now on May the 27th or whatever it is, who you got, I got Oklahoma. And I got Tennessee in the SEC for sure to get to Omaha.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma is clearly the favorite to win it all. Real quick, well, first of all, Dan says Vitalo started at Tennessee in 2017.
Okay.
I wonder where he came from. Charlie asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. Okay. Is there a team JC doesn't have a hat for? What do you have on the Edmonton Oilers?
Oh, yeah, Oilers last night in 5 games. Big win in the Battle of Alberta. Literally after getting smoked in game 1 and falling behind in game 2 of that series against Calgary, the Oilers took that series over and won 4 straight games. 4 straight games. I mean, you beat Calgary 4 straight times. That is an achievement. And I think now you're looking at a Colorado-Edmonton, although Colorado's not done with St. Louis. Give the Blues credit. Down 3-0 the other night. They came back after about a 12-minute delay because of a hat trick from Nathan McKinnon. St. Louis regroups, comes back, wins in overtime in game 5. So now they're playing game 6 in St. Louis. So Colorado's not done with that. And then last night we had the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Rangers in game 5 in Raleigh, North Carolina. So they're going to go back to Madison Square Garden and play game 6 in that series. Tampa Bay is resting, and they will heal. Braden Point will likely not play in this next series. If they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, there's a good chance that Braden Point will be back. But right now, it does not look good for him to return for the Eastern Conference Finals. There you go.
Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, did anyone see all the Gator baseball players in the dugout inhaling from a packet just before the start of the game? It looked like smelling salts of some sort based on the reaction of the players that they had. Just seemed odd. Yeah, I saw that. It was basically like the old ammonia tablets or whatever. That's what they were doing.
Yeah,
get them going. Although it didn't work.
QB, I got some news. I don't know if you mentioned this yesterday. I'm just switching gears real quick. I just stumbled on it this morning. Did you see some of the early season TV matchups for college football coming up?
I did, and if people missed it, the Gators are kicking off against the Utah Utes at 7 p.m.
There you go.
Our second game against Kentucky is a 7 p.m. start, and I want to say the third game against South Florida was 7 or 7:30 as well. Yes. JC, your alma mater is going to play. They're going to play the Longhorns on the 40 acres at 11 a.m.
Hey, those poor people in Texas have been waiting for this game. And what happens? Fox screws the whole thing up. And basically, I canceled my trip. I'm not going now. So I refuse to participate in these ridiculous kickoff times. And I'm not going to do it. And so I'll be here. And Utah, Florida at 7 o'clock is just so great on so many levels. And I know a lot of folks in the media don't like it. That's just too damn bad. The fans love it. The city will benefit from it. The businesses, local businesses will kill it. Billy Napier's debut. You got the Pac-12 champions rolling in. There'll be a top 10 national. They'll be ranked probably in the top 10. They've got a quarterback that's going to come in here and sling it all over the yard. You've got a Florida team that's going to look very different. I bet you Billy Napier brings a running style of offense into this season that the Gator fans haven't seen in a while. And I think you're gonna have a great time in early September in the first 2 weeks of the season with Florida playing Utah and Florida playing Kentucky. I mean, this is great for Gainesville. It's great for Alachua County. Finally got a break. I think weather-wise, it's much better, much more palatable for people in the early part of September. I think it's great.
The fans wanted it to be early.
They did.
Yeah, because they wanted to try to beat Utah.
Well, yeah, I see what you're doing with the Heat, but dude, it's just not comfortable. And I think I think when we get closer, the excitement will really build to see what the Gators have to offer and what they're going to show, and having it in prime time, nationwide, ESPN, dude, all 50 states. That you couldn't ask for anything better than that. I think it's exciting as hell. I love that, and I think Kentucky the following week, dude. I don't know if you could ask for two tougher matchups for a young team than Utah and Kentucky coming in. I mean, that Kentucky team is picked right now. It's second in the SEC East. So with a returning quarterback. So we'll see. That's
why the Florida win total, I think 7 or 7.5.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. A tough ass schedule. We've talked about it already. But I'm just fired up that Utah will be in here and they'll play at 7 o'clock. And I'm also, I just can't believe that Alabama's going to have to play a game at 11 o'clock in the morning against Texas when it's going to be 95 degrees. But that's what they want to do. That's what Fox does, and that's.
Well, here's the thing: we used to do that back in the day for WTBS.
Yeah. I remember that early game. But we also got Miami and Texas A&M is going to be on ESPN. That'll be a night game. We've got so many good games. Georgia's going to play Oregon at 3:30 on ABC. Cincinnati and Arkansas will be on ESPN. Notre Dame and Ohio State will be on ABC at 7:30. So this is good. There's a lot to look forward to here. There's some pre-confirmed kick times. Usually all leagues have a 7 to 12 day window basically to schedule games. 6 to 12 days before kickoff to pick games. The networks do, but then they have some games that are already preset. For instance, Georgia and Florida will always be, it seems like, at 3:30 on my birthday. Michigan and Ohio State will always play at noon for whatever reason. Oklahoma and Texas will always play at noon for some dumb reason. And then Penn State and Auburn, they'll play at 3:30 on CBS. So some of those games have already been slotted, but the rest of the season looks like it's basically a 6 to 12 day window before the networks announce, and that's just the way it goes. And that's tough for fans. It really is. But whatever. I mean, that's just the way it is right now.
Clay asked on Facebook Live, JC, can I watch Bama UT at your house with you?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, that's where I'm going to be because I'm sure as hell not going to Austin, Texas to watch a morning football game. I got no interest in that. I mean, that just destroys the whole – look, the folks in Austin can deal with it. That's fine. We're going to watch it, right? Yeah. And that'll be fine. Then we'll go to Kentucky game that night. And
Joseph says on Facebook Live, Texas is nobody. Only people that think that program is good are the Texas fans. They ain't won a thing in years. When you suck, you usually don't get primetime games.
Well, I mean, for Fox, they have this window called Big Noon, and to them, that's their big game. And that's just the way they do it. Right now, the Pac-12 is getting ready to re-sign a new TV deal. I think their deal is ending next season currently. So they're going to work on start times for their conference. With that new commissioner in that conference, they're going to work hard to try to get some better start times for their teams to play a little bit later in the day, or earlier in the day, I should say, so that folks in the East Coast can watch if that's what they want to do. I know that's what that conference wants. And next year, they're going to have a new TV contract. But for us and for most, the TV contract doesn't end until 2025, which to me just seems like forever. I have 3 years to go. I don't know, QB. I know that, and you can tell me what you think about this. I think I already know the answer. But the Big 12 is already working hard to get Cincinnati, BYU, Central Florida, and Houston into their league. They are coming up with a financial package that will release them from their current media deal and get them into the Big 12. If that happens, you're looking at 14 teams, and I mean that's fine because Oklahoma and Texas. I've heard nothing on whether or not they can get moved out of there before 2025, and to me that just seems like a hell of a long time from now.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to happen. I thought it would happen a lot sooner. We got a text on the Titan our text line. Happy Friday, fellas. JC, I don't follow hockey, but after seeing the Lightning sweep Panthers, I was curious how come the NHL doesn't have the two Florida teams in different divisions. Well, hang on. Like the NFL and NBA teams in Florida being in the NFC, the AFC, and the NL and the AL. Apparently, some of the Panthers were trying to score harder at the strip clubs than on the ice.
Yeah,
scoring 3 total goals while being swept. Pitiful. Enjoy all the softball later, Ryan.
Or in the strip clubs. There was word that a lot of their players frequented Dale Mabry, if you know what that means, in Tampa. But they did. They got broomed. I'm not sure how that works. I know geographically that in the NHL, a lot of teams that play when they come down here, specifically the Canadian teams, when they come to Florida, they always pair up Tampa and Florida or Miami, well, Fort Lauderdale really, together on the schedule because of proximity. So, it's kind of like what happens when teams go up to Alberta. They always play Calgary and Edmonton on the same road trip. It's weird. Scheduling in the NHL is weird. You only play once. The team from another conference you only get to play them once during the entire season. So I don't really know why that is. Can't answer that. But Tampa's getting a lot of rest right now. They need it as they get ready for their Eastern Conference Finals between either Carolina and New York. And it looks like it's going to be Carolina, but that's not over yet.
Got a text from our text line from Jim. He says, "Hey, Shane, I know you're very close to Tim Walton. Any chance that the Texas Aggies come a-calling?"
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Haven't really thought about that, Jim.
Yeah.
Their longtime coach, God, what was her name? Joe something. She was there forever. Is no longer their coach. They have so much money.
That's right.
I didn't even think about that. So I've not heard that. Would not surprise me. If Texas A&M doesn't get him a call.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, that family, their kids are grown, basically, or getting there. And money does talk. It makes a big difference. We'll see. QB, how about, and I didn't get to talk to you about it earlier this week, but did you see what happened? Well, of course you saw what happened to Florida State. And that Mississippi State, for the first time in their history, is hosting a regional in women's softball. Believe that?
Yeah, it starts out today.
Yeah.
I think they have 11 a.m. start for their super.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, so Mississippi State's going to play early. Okay, well, the whole city's going bonkers about women's softball in Starkville. That has never happened before.
Yeah, it was good to see the semis go down for sure.
It did.
There's a ton of upsets. It shows you that the parity women's college softball is there. I mean, for the most part.
Alabama lost.
Yeah.
So,
I was looking on Twitter the other day after they lost. I don't know if your coach was catching a lot of heat or what, but I think a lot of their girls saying they are coming back now. I don't know where the hell they're going to go because it's not like, I mean, they can go pro, or if they were talking about transferring. The player of the year in the SEC, I believe, was KB Sides from Arkansas, who's a former Alabama girl. And I was watching some of their game last night, and they basically said that, what's his name? Patrick Murphy. Pat Murphy basically told her she wasn't wanted back. And I'm like, this girl's been a premier player in the SEC for a long time, and she was the player of the year this year for Arkansas.
They kind of folded, man. I mean, that last 2 weeks of the season, last month of the season for that matter, they just died. They just faded away, and they couldn't hit all of a sudden. And it does seem like there were some internal issues with that team. And they were so highly picked before and during the early part of the season, only to just fade and die at the end of the year. And then Florida State, number 2 ranked team in the country, number 2 seeded team at home, needs one win against virtual nobody and gets swept at home right there by Doak Campbell Stadium. Right there, baby. So anyway, Mississippi State's going, Florida's going, you got Arkansas. It's a lot of good teams. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be a fun weekend for sure. Switching gears to the NBA, the Warriors closed out the Mavericks last night. Tonight, the Celtics have a chance to close out the Miami Heat, which I think they will. And boy, what a good conference final NBA finals we'll have with the Warriors and the Celtics.
What they want, I think that's what TV wants. Certainly, you're looking at a situation where it's kind of resembles the old Lakers and Celtics, cross country, East versus West. You got star power everywhere. coming from the West. You got star power in the East. I think Boston's better than Miami. When they're healthy, they can certainly, I think, be more effective. Boston needs to win. They do not need to go back to Miami and play Game 7. They need to win. And if Miami's going to win, Jimmy Butler has to come through. I mean, he's just been kind of a ghost in this series. So that's pretty simple, if you ask me.
Yeah, and then I didn't talk to you last week, JC, but you had a tremendous picks in the PGA Championship, which we didn't get to talk about. Yeah. How our man Mito basically gave the tournament away with one swing on the tee box on 18.
Too bad for him. I know his fellow countryman Joaquin Neiman, also from Chile, just dying on the green there, watching poor Mito. He double bogeys that last hole. That was tough, but I was happy for Justin Thomas, his second PGA Championship, second major, obviously. And, we've got the U.S. Open in June coming up, and then the British Open in July. I think that was just luck. Zalatoris, to me, is going to be a guy that's going to win a major, and probably sooner than later. And I think he's just got so much talent that he reminds me of a lot of these guys that they get hot, they win something big, and then they kind of fade, kind of like what's happened to Jordan Spieth. But with him, I think it's going to be different, because I just think talent-wise, he's as good a ball striker as anybody on that tour. So I think you're going to see Will Zalatoris win something big here soon.
Well, those young guys are ridiculous. How good they are.
Unbelievable. I mean, Justin Thomas hitting a 3-wood well over 300 yards and fading it onto the green on 17 was just a shot that I just had to get up out of my chair and just walk around in circles. Because I know what a 320-yard shot looks like from a tee box. This guy's doing it with a 3-wood and hitting a cut to get it there. So, it's crazy. It's a freak show. It's an absolute freak show, dude.
Let's get to this day in sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. Beat the summer heat and schedule your air conditioners tune up today, keeping you chill and the Florida heat far away. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Call us today, 352-376-2366. This day is sports, 2001 Senior PGA Championship, 5-time British Open champ. Tom Watson wins his first of 6 Champions Tour major titles with a one-stroke win over Jim Thorpe. The reason I bring that up is the Senior PGA Championship going on right now, and I flipped it through the channels last night. Chris DeMarco, 1 shot off the lead. Brian Gay was 2 shots off the lead. I'm going, damn, we're old, because those guys were in school when I was in school.
Yeah. QB, I remember DeMarco, Brian Gay, Pat Bates, Dudley Hart, just great players. That was a great team. Buddy
Speaking of, real quick, hold your thoughts. Speaking of the Dudley Hart, Gator golf team cranks up today out at Greyhawk out in Scottsdale, national championship. Dudley's an assistant coach under JC Deacon. They got a chance. They have a chance.
They do. I'm a big JC Deacon fan. I'd love to see that happen, or at least compete and be close. That's a good story.
Well, they're there, so they're close.
I'm just saying. I know. Well, QB, since you mentioned Tennessee earlier, I just wanted to say something. We mentioned that Tennessee would likely be the number 1 seed for the NCAA tournament, but historically, the number 1 seed, the last number 1 seed to win the College World Series was Miami, and that happened 23 years ago. Tennessee, though, for all its greatness, has 100 before the SEC tournament. Had 137 home runs, dude. I mean, it's batting practice for that team.
They had multiple yesterday.
It's batting practice for them. I mean, it's batting practice. And the best they've done was a runner-up finish 71 years ago in college baseball. 71 years ago. But
here's the thing, JC. I understand that Miami's the last one.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out the window. I'm going to go with the David DeLucci and the what's the Peterson guy? What are all those guys on the Baseball Network or on the ESPN? I'm losing
Kyle
Peterson. They all, which these guys, they look at all the numbers. They've watched a lot more baseball than you and I ever will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They say it's the best college baseball team they've ever seen. Now, again, they could have a bad day one bad game that cost them, but I think they're going to win it for sure.
Well, before the SEC tournament, they were 49-7. But here's the thing: even with 137 runs, dude, their team ERA is under 2.5 pitching, 2.37. That is in college baseball, dude. Aluminum bats. To have an ERA on a staff like that, to have offensive production like that, it doesn't even seem like it's fair. But you're right. One good pitcher on one given day from Stanford or wherever could not care less and just shut them down. I don't see it happening, but you're right. That's baseball. Anything can happen in one day.
All right. We had John on Facebook Live want us to pick the Super Regional. So we're going to do that real quick before we let you go and get to Franz Beard, JC.
Okay.
Real quick. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. Okay. The Lady Knights, they're traveling to Norman. They're going to get blasted.
No chance.
No chance. I agree. Northwestern will be playing the Lady Sun Devils. I'm gonna pick the Sun Devils for no reason.
Right.
They're home, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
UCLA, I don't know if they're hosting or they're traveling to Duke, but I'm gonna pick the Lady Bruins.
Yeah, I just go with the traditional powers here in this deal. But somebody's going to pop up and be a Cinderella story. There are 8 teams that go to Oklahoma City, and there's
we're not done picking. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Arkansas is already up 1-0 on Texas. I think Arkansas advances. They're your regular. Here's a stat I heard last night watching that game. They were the first school in the last 13 years to win the conference, other than Florida or Alabama.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's a good program, man.
Arkansas. And they have not lost a series this year or back-to-back games.
They've been the best team in the league, no doubt.
And they have how she built that team, transfers.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech and our mighty Gators. I think we upset Virginia Tech, who's the 3 seed.
Sure. I'm not. Am I going to ever pick against Tim Walton? No. The only time I'll pick against them is when they play Oklahoma this year, if they do.
And then a team of 2 teams that weren't even ranked, and one of them will go to OKC, Oregon State and Stanford.
Yeah. I'll just go with Stanford.
Well, I'll be opposite. I'll take Oregon State to be opposite. And then obviously Oklahoma State.
I like them.
They're already up 1-0 against Clemson.
Yeah. Love them.
And then Arizona, who wasn't ranked, neither was Mississippi State.
I'm going to look. I know Arizona is going to be favored, but Arizona's flying to Starkville, Mississippi, bro, and anything can happen. You beat the number 2 team in the country twice in their own backyard, you can beat anybody. So I'm taking the Bulldogs.
Here's what I like about Arizona, though.
They're good. They're really good.
They are good. Well, I mean, they got great history there, but I can't think of the young girl who took over their program when Candrea retired, former player who won a national title there. Their pitcher also won a national title there, Taryn Mowat. I remember her.
Taryn Mowat.
But it's cool that their program is being led by girls that I watched growing up playing for their school. Yeah, so anyway, I don't think anybody can beat the Oklahoma Sooners, though.
No, I don't see that either. But it's funny. The athletic department at Mississippi State basically wrote a bigger check to get that series in Starkville. Otherwise, they would have likely had it in Tucson. And I think that helps Mississippi State. We'll see. But it's a long way to go, man. It's a long way to go, two time zones in this case. But we'll see what happens. You never know. This is crazy. I didn't think we'd even talk about Mississippi State right now. So
no. Caitlin Lowe is the girl that's in charge.
Caitlin Lowe, okay.
Yeah, her and Taryn Mowat were tremendous players.
Oh, yeah,
all right, JC, have a great weekend. We're going to talk Gator sports with Franz Beard.
I like it. Thank you, guys. See you on Monday.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan Number Hotline. Going to take a timeout. Come back, get your questions and comments ready for Franz Beard. You're watching and listening to Pod Up Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Ironwood Golf Course, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Points where the Gators go to celebrate. Premium brands like Visor's Rooftop, Dave & Buster's, Regal Cinemas, Hotel Indigo, Sensei Asian Bistro, Escape Apology, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where every Tuesday you can enjoy 50% off handcrafted martinis from 4 to 10. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go back to the Titan MR Hotline, and we're joined by Franz Beard from Gator Bait Media, who does a tremendous job covering the Gators. Good morning, Franz. How are you?
It is a lovely day here in the neighborhood. We have sunshine. I'm wondering if they're going to have any up at Hoover, because it seems like everything has been delayed, pushed back, delayed. Florida played 2 games before LSU got in its first game. That tells you something.
It's bizarre. That whole SEC baseball tournament. I don't know why they don't find 2 venues to play it in. I think the weather's supposed to be great the rest of the week, up till Sunday when they play their championship game. But speaking of that, Gators didn't have a very good outing. It was almost like batting practice for the Aggies.
Yeah, and it was for whoever, Tennessee when they played Vanderbilt, and for LSU when they played Kentucky. All 3 games were blowouts, which was really surprising to me that we had basically 3-run rule games. I was surprised by that. I thought Florida particularly. I didn't know that they would necessarily win, Shane, but I thought they'd get more than 1 hit. And that was what was surprising to me.
Yeah, I agree. So Florida moving towards postseason play, and obviously the brackets will come out Sunday. What have you read, or what do you think where we'll be going?
Well, for Florida to host now, they're 36-21. They got to get to 38 wins, but maybe now for even 39 because of that loss. If they had taken the loss later, because they're in a situation now that their next loss eliminates them. So I thought a 21-loss team had a real good shot, but that meant getting unbeaten to when the tournament goes back to single elimination. Florida's in a double elimination game today, and they have to win it. And then they have to win again because they're coming through the losers bracket to get back to single elimination. So it's next impossible for them, I think, to get to a point where they only have 21 losses. And I thought that was going to be the key for getting that. So I think they're going to wind up with in a number 2 seed, either in Coral Gables or in Hattiesburg, because I think Southern Miss is going to be hosting a regional.
Yeah, and I totally forgot it's double elimination now. So yeah, they play again. We got a real quick. Before we jump into what happened last night on campus. Softball plays in Blacksburg today at 2:00.
Yeah,
I like the way they played in the regionals. I think they got a chance to upset Virginia Tech. How do you see this, Franz?
Well, Virginia Tech gave up 4 home runs in 3 games to Kentucky. And this is the same Kentucky team that Florida just absolutely smoked when they played in the SEC tournament. And they went up to Blacksburg and just gave Virginia Tech everything they could handle. I didn't think Virginia Tech looked like a number 2 seed up there. And I think Florida can go up there and beat them. But for the Gators to win, the key is going to be with the pitching, not walking people. They didn't walk people in the Gainesville Regional in those 3 games. When their pitchers are throwing strikes, they win games. When their pitchers are out of the strike zone, they have a tendency to lose, and they could lose up there if they don't throw strikes. So that's going to be the key for them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You know, it's in postseason softball. I just told JC this. The talent is so close. It's just that one mistake here or there, or you know, a leadoff walk that comes back to haunt you. And you know, Tim Walt's got great experience. Virginia Tech's got a good program. They haven't been there. Our girls have been there, and I think with Falby and Skylar Wallace with the speed, if they can just get on base, I think they can cause a lot of problems for Virginia Tech. Switching gear,
getting Falby on at the start of the game or at the top of the lineup whenever she's in there is always going to be key, because it dictates everything the other team does, because she is so fast.
She is extremely fast. Friends, we got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law. Jeff says, Todd Golden's press conference was super impressive. He's built a tremendous roster already. Love to hear what Franz has to say. He's a really smart dude.
I don't know about that, but thanks for the
Well, I don't know if he was saying you were smart or Todd Golden's smart.
I think he was probably talking about Todd.
He probably thinks you're smart too, though.
Todd had a really good press conference, in that he talked very about NIL, and I thought he had some really good comments about NIL. But when he talked about building the roster, he said it started with Colin Castleton, getting him to come back for the 5th year. And by the way, Colin has progressed very, very well with his rehab. He's ahead of schedule, but they're not going to push him. They want him ready to be strong in the fall. He talked about they need one more big guy. He said that's the one place we're thin. Otherwise, we've built the roster the way I like. Lofton at the point is going to be impressive. You got a guy that's 6'4", 6'5", that can drive the ball to the basket, that has averaged better than 5 assists a game for his entire career. Will Richard on a wing. Alex Fudge can be that versatile guy that can play the high post, can run the baseline, etc., like that. Kawasi Reeves, I think, is a pro looking for a place to happen, but they got to have another big guy. The roster has been built very, very nicely, and I think he addressed that. He said, you know, we're in good shape, and he talked about Kugel, the new guy. He said this is a guy we really wanted, but best of all, he wanted to be a Gator, and I think Mike White dropped the ball on him. I think Mike really could have had him and should have pushed hard for him. You can't let good players like that get away. It's kind of like Mike dropped the ball on Vin Allen Lubin, who ended up at Orlando Christian Prep, a 6'8" kid who's very, very versatile, can play the wing, the high post, run the baseline for you, could guard 4 positions. And he ends up at Notre Dame, and there's just no excuse for that. So the big thing I came away from with Todd Golden, Shane, is that here's a guy that's committed to keeping the best players in the state. This was the last really good player in the state who's available. He got him. I like that. I think that's a really good sign for the future.
No doubt. He's a sharp dude. Real quick, Franz, just so people know, there was an event last night at the Touchdown Terrace where Coach Billy Napier and Todd Golden were there. What was it with the Fighting Gator Touchdown Club?
Yes, it was.
Yes. So they both spoke there. That's what we're referring to, just so our folks know that are watching here. Was it him? Because I was looking through Twitter last night, and I know, these Gator fans on Twitter, Franz, are crazy. If you didn't know that already.
No.
Sure. They were there. Somebody was complaining because was it Billy or Todd that said something in their presser? We're not going to pay players to come to Florida or something along those lines.
Well, what he said was, we're not going to get caught up in this bit about dealing with third-party people. And I asked that question of Billy Napier. I asked it of Todd Golden too. Todd's answer was interesting. He said, we've always been contacted by third-party people, but now it's legal. And as Billy pointed out, he said, now people have representation. And he said, I'm not sure that's a good thing or not. Now, I understand that you want to have your parents with you and stuff like that. I understand that you might want to have a lawyer with you. I think that's good representation, Shane. But particularly when you're dealing with NIL stuff, how many of these kids come from a background where they or their parents have intimate knowledge of all the ins and outs of what a contract involves, etc. We don't know that. So I'm glad that they have some representation, but some of the people who are representing are, I know some of these AAU coaches and AAU hangers-on that are representing players now, and it's frightening. And I think you're seeing the same thing in football. And Shane, you see these 7-on-7 coaches. Some of them are the dregs of society.
It's the guys that wear the backpacks and the towels around their necks while they're coaching, and it drives me insane. It's their posse that are trying to tell these kids what to do. It's crazy. At Chris Dorian Mortgage, they do mortgage lending, right? Helping home buyers throughout Gainesville, North Central Florida. Call Chris Dorian Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. Speaking of the great Franz Beard here on the Titan & More hotline. All right. People want to hear about what Coach Napier had to say. Obviously, we're right around the corner. I think it's 99 days now till the Gators kick it off against the Utes at 7 p.m. in the Swamp. What did old Coach Napier have to say? Any news coming out of the football camp?
I asked him about the 5 walk-ons that he has promised to give scholarships to. He said that's been done. He said I'll talk to you the next time that we have a conversation, and I'll give you their names. He was focused on what he had to say at the event upstairs, and he wasn't going to leave somebody's name off. I appreciated that in him, Shane, that he's not going to go up there and try to just wing it like some coaches do. He's got an agenda. He spoke about his agenda and things like that he was prepared for. He wasn't prepared for the question. Obviously, he had other things on his mind, getting that touchdown terrace Fighting Gator Club speech done. But with this, I was appreciative of the fact that he didn't do that. We have 17 scholarship guys that are already in school, plus 11 walk-ons that are in school that are freshmen. I thought that's interesting. He said that if we add more players, they will probably be graduate transfers. And I like that too, because you can get a guy that can plug and play while developing your own guys. I don't know about you, Shane. I like the idea of bringing in, if you're going to bring in transfers, whenever you can, bringing in grad transfers, unless you can get a guy, for example, that's a real stud that can be there for 2 or 3 years and can fill a position of need, and he's going to be there. Otherwise, I'm into grad transfers. Osiris Torrance is a grad transfer. Cameron Waits, on the other hand, is a guy who is a redshirt freshman. So you've got him for 4 years. And I like that philosophy, and I think that it shows him what he's doing. He's not going to just take players because they're in the portal and maybe they can help. He's only going to take players who he knows can step in and help. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. Franz, what is the scholarship situation now? How many still available?
The way I've got it, he's got 88, Shane. So, and that's before adding the walk-ons. So there's got to be some attrition.
I don't mean to interrupt you. So we can only have 85, I thought, right? Or they changed that rule where you can have more?
We can only have 85, and they're about to implement a rule that you can never have more than 85 on scholarship at any time under any circumstance. That's going to change the way people build their rosters. He talked about that last night. He said this new 25 counter rule, which says that I can recruit as many guys as I want to, as long as I don't exceed 85. For example, if I have a lot of attrition, say I lose 13, 14 guys to the transfer portal, I can still sign a class of 25 if I've got the room for it, and sign 14 more who left when they transferred. I can replace them. But I can't exceed 85. That's the rule. And I think that the big thing that he's looking at right now is he's got 88 plus 5 walk-ons. That's 93. So somebody's going to have to go. Now, Trey Dean, Ventrell Miller, let's see, one of the linebackers. He's got 3 guys that I know of who are 5th-year guys, okay? And they're using their COVID year. They don't count against the roster. So if that's true, then he's really only at 90, and he's still going to have to trim some people. But I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So basically, when you say trim, that means they're going to have to tell a couple of kids, we're going to have to take you off scholarship. I know a couple of the kids that got the I'm not at liberty to say, but they got the walk-ons, they got the scholarships. So happy for those kids. Doesn't mean they're ever going to play. It's just a reward that has to happen on all football teams, because that's just what you do. But that's what I'm saying. So if we're at 88 right now, or whatever you said, you add the walk-ons that just got the 5 guys. You don't count Ventrell and whoever, the COVID guys. A couple guys are either going to get cut, that's the wrong word to use, but they have to get to that 85, correct?
Yeah, they do. And I don't know whether that's coaches telling guys, okay, it's time, or it could be a case, Shane, that they're waiting for some guys to graduate in the summer. And I think that's more like the case, because once they've graduated, then you can say, you've used your eligibility up, you're a college graduate. We're not required to keep you on scholarship anymore. And I think that's more like what is going to happen here. It's a little less brutal when you do it that way.
Gotcha. Franz, great stuff as always. Time goes by way too fast. Let everybody know how they can read all your work.
GatorbaitMedia.com. Work with Buddy Martin, the one and the only. And Buddy and I have been teaming up with stuff for, since 1973. So we've both been around a little while. I think, wasn't that before you were born, Shane?
What year?
73.
I was born in 70, but y'all are the dynamic duo. There's no question about that. Good stuff, Franz. Have a great week, my man.
Thanks so much.
That's Franz Beard. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. Going to take a timeout, come back, wrap up this Friday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, Aikido America, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking for member FDIC. I want to thank Franz Beard and JC join us on the Titan MR hotline. I want to get to a Facebook Live brought to you by Meldon Law before we get out of here. And I appreciate Scott. I was going to bring this up. I appreciate Scott sending this. He says, Shane, let's wish your former teammate and fellow Mississippian Kyle Morris a happy birthday today. I understand he had some health issues, health challenges recently, so I hope he has a great birthday. Yeah, Kyle's gone through a lot the last 5, 6, 7 years. He's a battler and battles every day. We want to wish him a very, very happy birthday. One of my closest friends, no doubt about it. We got a bunch of questions here about Wildware number 9 and things of that nature. Send those on Monday, folks. We don't have time now. Time is run out. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget, NCAA golf is on TV right now. A lot of people told us. We'll make sure we tune in there. Gator softball at 2 o'clock. I don't even know what time Gator baseball plays again. I lost track of that. That's a mess out there in Hoover. But I hope you enjoy your weekend, your long weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Have a great day, folks. Take care.
1st and 10. Matthews, near side, wide open, Alonzo Sullivan. He may go. Touchdown, Gators.